All right, so tonight I'm turning a piece of oak into a little lantern that takes these LED key lantern or key candles, and then so I'll be adding a video with me drilling the holes once I compress this onto a live compressed view for a video. But drill these 4 holes. I got to come down here and cut this down where it'll go into a chuck, and then I'll flip it around, stick it in the chuck, drill out the hole where this little LED T candles light will flicker through these little holes. Be pretty neat. I've made a couple. There's if you go a little bit further back in my post, there's a picture of some that I've made before, but I want to make 2 of them. So I'll still be going live tomorrow, making this tonight, and I'll possibly making another one of these tomorrow. All right, there's our through hole. So we'll clean that up later on, but that's where the T candle will go. Oh, LED T candle. The only problem is the bit that I have that's closest is not quite big enough to fit this little T candle. So I've got to come back in here and cut that out. How do I do it? So I cut down a piece of oak to be about 3.5 by 3.5. And then I put it on my drill press and cut it out. Use some phosphor bits to cut the holes around here while it's still square. It's easier to do it while it's still square like that. And then I take a phosphor bit on the end of my lathe and I just run it through. And then, like I said, unfortunately, I have to do a little bit extra work to get this thing to fit one of these little candles. And this chuck ain't the best thing in the world, so it doesn't take but just a little snag to get it wobbling like that. So, but adapt and overcome. All right, that fits pretty good. It'll be good for the sanding. Not sure if you can see the light from it. Turn this off real quick. See a little bit of light in there. So I'm just going to shape it down into the shape of a lantern. It'll have a neat little handle up here and all that. They're pretty cool, and they're LED, so you don't have to worry about them catching on fire. But that's where we're going next. I'll run this live center in here and give me a little bit more support and finish the final shape on it. These things are neat. They're fun. They don't take forever to do. Oh, oh, there it went. All right, I'll just have to take off this top little bit here. I need to sand it down, but here's a view of what it looks like. There's the final thing we were shooting for, a little lantern. Stick this little tea candle in here, flip it on. There's a little lantern. Fun little lathe project. I got another blank that's going to be coming up next. I'll probably make 2 of these on this pass, and then that's what I started with, and this is what I ended with. It's oak. Pretty simple little process to make them, but they're fun to make. I enjoy them. So if you watched this afternoon, I appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna take this and a couple other videos I made in the lead up to making this, and I'll compress all this and turn it out as a whole video after this. But if you're here, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I'll talk with y'all next time.